Hello everyone. In this presentation, I'm going to talk about test automation at Line. Before we start, let me introduce myself first. My name is Min. I'm a software quality engineer. So, I'm interested in software quality improvement, test automation, and DevOps. About what I love. Absolutely, my little baby, and I love playing baseball. Last but not least, I love Line, really. If you want to know something else, please do not hesitate. You can contact me through LinkedIn and definitely Line. Here we have items to cover in this session. Let's start. When we talk about test automation, people might think about test frameworks only, such as JUnit, Appium, which is very popular in mobile test automation area, and possibly Eggplant, which we are using for Line Messenger, and etc. Of course, I agree that choosing appropriate tools is an important factor in the success of test automation. However, I would like to talk about something else in this presentation, rather than just test frameworks. There are 4 items to cover in this session. Those are documentation, monitoring, custom report, and bot integration. I'm going to go through them one by one. First of all, documentation. In software development, documentation is an integral part. And personally, I believe that the test automation is a sort of software development activity because we do design, we do write, and test as well. So I would say documentation in test automation is also very important. Let me tell you what we do for better documentation. Speaking of the implementation of Line test automation, we adapt page object pattern. I think many of you already know about it. We define screens, actions, and properties for Line Messenger. For example, here we have a screen you can see when you use Line Messenger for the first time. And we name it into a screen. What do you see on the screen? The text, welcome to Line. The text, login, and sign up. We can say these are properties. What did you do on the screen? You may want to tap on the text, login, or sign up. These are actions. So, how do we build documents with this kind of information? Let's take a look. We have built a web-based document that is easily accessible by everyone, but it's fake URL, so please don't try this at home. The screen names are on the left side of the screen, while the screenshots are on the right side. You can scroll either side to look for the screens you want to see and check the details. Or you can directly search the name of the screen. Then tap on the screenshots to see the details. In the details, it shows screenshots for both Android and iOS. Also, actions and properties. How does it work? Simple. We commit script files along with comments in a predefined format. We parse the comments and generate markdown files. In this step, we use pandoc library. Then, we use docsify to display the markdown files as a website. Let's move on to the next topic, which is resource monitoring. Line wants to be a global company. We provide various services, and there are lots of engineers working for Line all over the world. Speaking of our test automation system, we have quite a number of hardware equipment, such as server computers and PCs, that devices are connected to, installed across countries such as Korea and Japan. Furthermore, in case we expand the system, we are expecting to have more equipment in more countries, such as Vietnam, Taiwan, Thailand, and so on. In this distributed system, what if suddenly we have something wrong in the system, and some of them are not working properly? So it causes test failures. That's why we have built the monitoring system. Now let's take a look what it looks like. It's also a web-based system. You can check how many equipment are live and how hard they are working. In the section below, you can check logs. These are summarized data, and you can choose equipment you are interested in. How do we build it? It's also quite simple. We take advantage of Elastic and Grafana. We use beats from Elastic to collect data. Among many beats, we use file beat and metric beat. Those beats send the data to Elasticsearch, and then Grafana loads the data to display dashboard. Next is about custom reports. I'm going to tell you how we share the result of test executions. As you may know, Line provides various services, such as messaging, voice call, sticker, meeting, and many others. Each service has its own functionality and needs to be tested in different ways, which means it needs to have different type of data as a result of test. Here's an example how we achieve this variety. It's also web-based. We love web because it's easily accessible. On this page, we have common data for test results. It shows how many test cases are successful and how many have failed. And it shows device information and test logs as well. Here we have another data. For one of the services provided by Line, the team in charge wanted to compare two different performance measurements. This page shows the values in each measurement and the trend chart for the last few days. How does it work? The automation tools send the data to Elasticsearch when the tests are done. Each test has its own data format. Then the Python module we implemented loads the data to display on the web page. The web pages are written by Vue.js. Lastly, I'm going to talk about bot integration. While we are working at Line, we use Line Messenger and Slack a lot to communicate with co-workers across countries. Not only for the communication, but we also use them to manage automated systems and to prevent us from missing important notifications from automated systems. First, let me show you an example of how we use Line. On the right side, that's the Eggplant Manager, which is one of the test automation systems we are using. By tapping the button, you can run a test. However, it doesn't matter how you start a test, either manually or automatically. Once the test starts, you'll get notified through Line. Check out the left side. Then, as the test progresses, Line will keep you updated on the status. It takes time to complete the test, so let's just skip it here. Next, I'm going to show you how we use Slack. With Slack, you can check the list of tests and execute a test. How? Just send the messages to the bot. Simply send the list keyword to the chat. Then you can see the list. Now let's just start the test number 0 by sending the message run with number 0. Once the test starts, you can check the progress as well. We use thread messages for updated status. It also takes time, but let's wait for the second this time. Done. In the meantime, the same notifications have been delivered to Line. Let's take a look how it works. We use various APIs provided by each system for management of automated tests, for example, executing tests or checking test status. We make API calls to Eggplant or Jenkins for tests running on Appium. Similarly, we make API calls to Line or Slack to send notifications accordingly. To handle those API calls, we implemented Python module. It's responsible for making correct API calls upon changes of test status or any user actions performed on automated systems. Let me tell you a bit more about Line Notify. So everyone here can use it to connect Line with everything. And it's quite simple to use. I won't elaborate too much on it, but I recommend, please visit our website to get the details. And I hope you use Line Notify in your project. Give it a try, you'll love it. That brings us to the end of the presentation. As I've talked about test automation at Line, I focused on 4 things. Rather than talking, just about test automation tools, which were documentation, monitoring, custom report, and bot integration. There are lots of tools and skills out there to make our test automation system beautiful. And I mentioned only some of them in this presentation, such as Python, Vue.js, Grafana, Elastic, of course, Line, and so on. I would like you to keep those keywords in your mind, and I hope you take advantage of them and make your project successful. That's all for my presentation. I would like to thank everyone for your time and attention today. We only had about 20 minutes, which is not long enough to satisfy your curiosity. So again, please feel free to contact me, so I'll be happy if I have a chance to have a discussion with you. Thank you.